Section 4, Pauloma Parva. This is part of Adi Parva. Ukrasrava Sauti, the son of Loma Harshana, versed in the Puranas, while present in the forest of Naimisha at the 12-year sacrifice of Saunaka, surnamed Kulapati. Okay, Kulapati is vice chancellor as of today, because Kulapati is the one who would give food and residence to students of 10,000, numbering 10,000, and give them education free of cost. There is no fee. After the end of education, if the teacher or his wife want to pay any fee, want to have something, then the student would fulfill their desire. So this is how it was. Since Kali Yuga has diminished wealth, so then there was a need for establishment of Takshashila University, where 10,000 students studied. See, it was done by one, and the 10,000 students have joined the university. Rather, you can see the difference how it was then and how it became. Okay, Kulapati, surnamed Kulapati, stood before the rishis in attendance, having studied Puranas with meticulous devotion, thus being thoroughly acquainted with them. He addressed them with joined hands thus. I have graphically described to you the history of Tanka, which is one of all the which is one of the causes King Janmejaya's snake sacrifice. What revered sirs do you wish to hear now? What shall I relate to you? The holy man replied, O son of Loma Harshana, we shall ask you about what we are anxious to hear, and you will recount the tales one by one. Saunaka, our reverend master, is at present meeting at the apartment of the holy fire. He is acquainted with those of the divine stories which relate to the gods and asuras. He adequately knows the histories of men, serpents, and Gandharvas. Further, O Sauti, in this sacrifice, learned Brahmana is the chief. He is able, faithful to his oaths, wise, a master of the Shastras, Aranyaka, a speaker of truth, a lover of peace, a mortifier of flesh, and an observer of the penances according to the authoritative decrees. He is respected by us all. It behooved us, therefore, to wait for him. And when he is seated on the highly respected seat, thou will answer what that best of Dvijas shall ask thee. Dvija is a word for twice born. There are many that are twice born. For instance, birds that comes out of egg, and animals that also comes out of egg. And the twice born are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. And Brahmins are the best of the twice born. So these are the twice born in the same body. Like, for example, caterpillar turns into butterfly, is twice born, even though it's not from the egg. So this is called a Dvija. Sauti said, be it so. And then the high souled master has been seated. I shall narrate, questioned by him, sacred stories of the on a variety of subjects. After a while, that excellent Brahmana, Saunaka, having duly finished all his duties and having propitiated the gods with prayers and the mains with oblations of water, came back to the place of sacrifice, where Sauti, seated before, was in the assembly of saints, rigid, was sitting as at ease. And when Saunaka was seated in the midst of Ritviks and Sadhyas, who were also in their seat, he spake as followeth. This is section 5 in Pauloma, in Adi Parva, and it's Pauloma Parva. Saunaka said, child, your father formerly read the whole of the Puranas, this O son of Loma Harshana, and the Bharata with Krishna Dvaipayana. Hast thou also made them thy study? In those ancient records are chronicled interesting stories and the history of the first generations of the wise men, of all which we heard being rehearsed by thy sire. In the first place, I am desirous of hearing history of the race of Brigu. Recount thou that history, we shall attentively listen to thee. Thi means you, Thee. Thy, Thy is you. So this is how the Victorian English was hath became has in the later stage. So I'm using the Victorian English here. Southey answered, by me hath been acquired all that was formerly studied by the high-souled Brahmanas, including Vaisampayana, and repeated them. By me hath been acquired all that had been fixed studied by my father. O descendant of Brigu race, attend then to so much as relateth to the exalted race of Brigu, revered by Indra and all gods, by the tribes of rishis and maruts. Maruts means winds. O great Muni, I shall first properly recount the story of this family as told in the Puranas. The great blessed saint Brigu, we are informed, was produced by the self existing Brahma from the fire at the sacrifice of Varuna. And Brigu had a son named Chavyana, whom he dearly loved. And to Chavyana was born the virtuous son called Pramati. And Pramati had a son named Ruru by Grithachi, a celestial dancer. The same Grithachi will become mother of Dronacharya also. And to Ruru, also by his wife Pramadvara, was born a son whose name was Sunaka. He was, O Saunaka, thy great ancestor, exceedingly virtuous in his ways. He was devoted to asceticism, of great reputation, proficient in law, and eminent among those having the knowledge of the Vedas. He was virtuous, truthful, and well regulated fair. Sonaka said, O son of Suta, I ask thee why the illustrious son of Brigu was named Chavana. Do tell me all. See, in those days, name was not given as you were born. Like today, in some houses, we do it on 11th day, we do it on 21st day, some do it on 31st day. It was not the case in those days. They would look at the horoscope of the boy, or maybe till the age of 5, they would observe his behavior. Based on the behavior, they would give him the name that suits his behavior. Or maybe at the time of birth, certain things must have happened. So it becomes his name. For example, Arjuna is given the name because he was tall like Arjuna tree. So that's the reason why he was given the name Arjuna. And Bhima has got the name because Lord Shiva. He was born after Lord Shiva's blessings to Panduraju and Kunti. Yudhishthira means Yudh is war. Thira is the one who would stand firm in war, not the battles that he fought. He ran away many times in that battle, but in dharma, he would never leave dharma and do adharma. That is the reason why he is called Yudhishthira, and it's also called Dharmaraja. Because his son is a son born to Yama Dharmaraja. So these are the names. And Yudhishthira the just. That's what the Sanskrit translation comes to English. Okay, now Sauti replied, Brigu had a wife named Pauloma, whom he dearly loved. She became big with a child by Brigu. And one day, while the virtuous continent, Pauloma was in that condition. Brigu, great among those that are true to their religion, leaving her at home, went out to perform his ablution. It was then that the Rakshasa called Puloma came to Brigu's abode. On entering the Rishi's abode, the Rakshasa saw the wife of Brigu irreproachable in everything, and seeing her, he became filled with lust and lost his senses. The beautiful Paulama entertained the Rakshasa, thus arrived with the roots and fruits of the forest. And Rakshasa, who burned with the desire upon seeing her, became very much delighted and resolved, O good sage, to carry her away, was so blameless in every respect. My design is accomplished, said the Rakshasa. So, seizing that beautiful matron, he carried her away, and indeed, she of agreeable smiles had been betrothed by her father himself to him. Although the former subsequently bestowed her, according to the due rites, on Brigu, Odo of Brigu race, this wound rankled up in Rakshasa's mind, and he thought the present moment was opportune for carrying the lady away. And, and the Rakshasa saw the apartment in which the sacrificial fire was kept burning brightly. The Rakshasa then asked the flaming element of, "Oh, tell me, O Agni, whose wife this woman rightfully is? Thou art the mouth of gods, therefore thou art bound to answer my question." The lady of superior complexion has been first accepted by me as wife, but the father subsequently bestowed her on the false Brigu. Tell me truly if this fair one can be regarded as the wife of Brigu for having found her alone. I have resolved to take her away by force from the hermitage. My heart burneth with rage when I reflect that Brigu hath got possession of this woman of slender waist first betrothed to me. See, when you engage with a woman, for example, and the father of the girl can cut off the engagement provided you have got certain negative qualities. You are very lustful. Your desires cannot be controlled. You don't have any ethics. So all these things, if found, then engagement engagement can be cancelled. And this Rakshasa, of course, naturally what he is doing is what Ravana has done with Sita. So he wants to carry away Pauloma. So this man, that is the reason why he didn't get that lady as his wife. So it was bestowed upon the sage Brigu, royal uh, sage Brigu. So this idiot now is asking Agni to support him. Sauti continued, in this manner, the Rakshasa asked the flaming god of fire again and again whether the lady was Brigu's wife, and the god was afraid to return an answer. Though god of fire said he resides constantly within every creature as witness of her, or his merits or demerits. O thou respected one, then answer my question truly. Has not Brigu appropriated her when he was chosen by me as my wife? When thou should declare truly whether therefore she is my wife. My first choice, after thy answer was to whether she is wife of Brigu, I will bear her away from the hermitage even in the sight of thee. Therefore answer thou truly. So this is how he is threatening Agni. You have to answer because you dwell in everyone's heart. And Sauti continued, the seven flamed god, having heard these words of Rakshasa, became exceedingly distressed, and being afraid telling falsehood, and equally afraid of Bhrugu's curse. And the god at length made answer in the words that came out slowly. This Puloma was indeed first chosen by thee, O Rakshasa, but she was not taken by thee with holy rites and invocations, but this far famed thin lady was bestowed by her father on Brigu as a gift from desire of blessing. She was not bestowed on thee, O Rakshasa. This lady was duly made by the rishis Brigu's wife with Vedic rites in my presence. This is she, as I know. I dare not speak a falsehood. Though best of Rakshasas, falsehood is never respected in this world. So he has uttered finally, and this ends section 5 and section 6. Polo Parva continues. Sauti said, O Brahmana, having heard these words of fire god, the Rakshasa assumed the form of a boar and seizing the lady, carried her away with the speed of wind, even of thought. Then the child of Brigu, lying in her body, enraged with violence, dropped from her mother's womb, for which he later obtained name of Chavyana. Chuti is a Sanskrit word. Chuti means falling down. And then, because she was pregnant and he came out of the womb, so because it happened suddenly. So he is called Chavyana. That's how he got the name Chavyana. Rakshasa, perceiving that infant dropped from his mother womb, shining like the sun, quitted his grasp on the woman, fell down, was instantly converted into ashes. See, this is how the sages were born. They were born with such a strength of penance, and then he could immediately kill the boar, the rakshasa. And the beautiful Paloma, distracted with grief, O Brahmana of Brigu, of the Brigu race, took up offspring Chavyana, the son of Brigu, and walked away. And Brahma, the grandfather of all, himself saw her, the faultless wife of his son, weeping, and the grandfather of all comforted her, who was attached to her son. And the drops of tears that rolled down her ears formed a great river. That river began to follow the footsteps of the wife of great ascetic Brigu, and the grandfather of the world, seeing that river follow the path of his son's wife, gave it a name himself, and it called it Vadusara, and it passed to the hermitage of Chavana. And in this manner was born Chavana of graced ascetic power, the son of Brigu. And Brigu saw his child Chavana with his beautiful mother, and the rishi enraged asked her, by whom wast thou made known that to that Rakshasa who resolved to carry thee away? Although of agreeable smiles, the Rakshasa could not know thee as my wife. Therefore, tell me who it was who told the Rakshasa, so in order I may curse him through anger. See, this is what happens. Agni was scared of curse of Brigu, and now his wife is supposed to reveal. He would not have known had not somebody told that she was my wife. So this is how Agni is getting punished now for telling the truth. And Puloma replied, O possessor of six attributes, I was identified to the Rakshasa by Agni, the god of fire, and he bore me away, who cried like Kuari, our female osprey. And it was only by the ardent splendor of your son that I rescued, for the Rakshasa let me go, and himself falling into the ground was turned into ashes. Sauti continued. Brigu, upon hearing the account of Polama, became exceedingly enraged, and in excess of passion, Rishi cursed Agni, saying, thou shalt eat all the things. That means you're going to eat everything. This ends the sixth section of the curse of Agni in the Adi Parva.